want a piece of me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
What up?
Oh, we're starting off with that type of music today?
Oh, yeah. What up, film fans? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode 386. Welcome to When Harry Met Sally. You're listening to another new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Juan, and I am joined by the cast, the crew, the other fella,
Zachary.
Zach.
What is up, movie fans of the podcast? We are here after a very questionable and probably disconcerting day I've had. I'm glad to get on here and talk about some films. What about you, man?
Same, man. You know, the week has been filled with distractions and unwanted stress, anxiety, depression, anger, hate, pain. But you know what? At the end of the day, this is my safe space. You guys who out there are listening are my safe. This is my safe zone. I'm here to hang out, talk about movies with you guys. And, you know, this is a jam-packed episode, but not only is it jam-packed in one single episode, it is also the road to our top 5 favorites of 2025. And we kick it off today with our top 5 worst movies of 2025. But, you know, Zach, I gotta just say one thing while we kick today off.
Yes.
Corporate America sucks.
Culture America sucks?
Corporate.
Oh, corporate. Please explain.
Well, man, you think you know somebody or a company, and you're just like 10 years in, and you just think that there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, but no, not for corporate America. Not for, maybe it's, I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I'm not, maybe I'm not like every other one. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, the most important thing is my health, my happiness, my family, and you guys that click, download, like, subscribe, and listen to, and you hit the play button every single week. And you, Zach, I gotta say you. So yeah, it's been a week, but at the end of the day, I'm here and super glad to talk movies with you guys. Speaking of movies, if you guys did not check us out last week, first off, where were you? Second off, we had a fun conversation all about Good Boy. The supernatural dog horror movie, the indie film. Go check it out if you have a Shudder subscription. If you don't want to check it out, you just want to listen to us talk about Good Boy, go hang out and talk to us and listen wherever you listen to podcasts. iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Apple Podcast. You can also watch us on Facebook Live right here on Emerson Wall Productions YouTube channel. And you can find us at www.prescribedfilmsnetwork.com. There you can find a bunch of different podcasts, including yours truly. So, and all the links are on the social media pages. So hit us up on social media, and you can find all of our links there. Giveaways, all kinds of good stuff. Facebook.com/The Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Instagram, The Cine-Men Movie Podcast. X, Cinnamon405. So,
yeah, man, I really enjoyed last week's conversation. I know the movie itself really wasn't your cup of tea, but I was glad we got to talk about an independent film that, it got some buzz, it got some love, and just me personally, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So.
Wasn't my cup of tea, but you know what? I liked the cup that it was sitting in. How about that?
There you go.
Zach, it's been a long week. It feels like we haven't talked in forever. What are some of the movies that you got to check out this week, or would you recommend anything for anybody out there listening or watching?
Yeah. So, like I said, like we've been gearing up for the next couple weeks. I have my 10 films ready. They're not ranked, but I got my 10 films ready to go for our 2025 review episode. Mark, if you want to play along, make sure to email us your top 5 lists, and we will read them on the air while we're doing the episode. So I don't want to give away those movies, but I did go see. Did I talk about 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple? Have we talked about that?
Negative.
Okay. I did go see that. I did think it was a worthy follow-up to 28 Years Later. It's not, don't be expecting 28 years later, but there is a lot of good, bloody, gory stuff like the first movie. I talked about Mercy, the Chris Pratt movie. Iron Lung. We mentioned that last week on the Good Boy.
We did. Did you go check it out?
I did go check it out. It's honestly, for it to be made from a YouTube star, it's not half bad. I didn't really understand. I guess it's based off like some video game or something, so I didn't really understand what the point of it was. But the moral of it is because it's made by a YouTube creator. It's actually it's not bad. Actually, it looks really good for it to be that. Shelter, the Jason Statham movie. It's literally a carbon copy of every other Jason Statham movie. The Strangers Chapter 3.
Why?
Really despised Chapter 1. But this one, I did watch Chapter 2 as well. I can admit they are not at all good films at all. But this one was kind of enjoyable to watch, even though how crappy it was. But the big thing, When Harry Met Sally, we'll get into here in a little bit. Send Help, the Rachel McAdams, Sam Raimi movie. Dude, it's so much fun. It feels like classic Raimi with the cheesy horror aspect of it. McAdams and Dylan O'Brien give really good performances, and it has like a lot of twists and turns that you're not expecting. So it did really well in the theater. So it's still in the theater. If you get a chance to go see it, go check it out. What about you, man?
It's been a fun week, man. I'm kind of diving down 2025 still, but I'm also just like, what else can I get my hands into and sink my teeth into? I checked out, these are some documentaries. The Devil is Busy, The Alabama Solution. I rewatched Materialists, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I watched him, Bad Guys 2.
Oh, what do you think about him?
It's terrible.
Enough said, yeah.
Ella McKay. Black Phone. Did I talk about Black Phone 2 last week?
No.
I finally got to check out Black Phone 2.
I liked it.
Springsteen.
Oh, what do you think?
I liked it. Black Phone 2 reminds me, honestly, of a Freddy Krueger-like character.
Yeah, it kind of...
I didn't mind it. I liked it better than
the shark a little bit with that, but
I liked it better than the first one.
Yeah, I would agree.
Surprise watch of the week, Code 3. Have you seen it?
What is it?
Code 3. Rainn Wilson. It's available on Hulu. Check it out. Predator Badlands.
Oh, what do you think?
I gave it a 2, man. I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, didn't like it at all. It started off strong, but it kind of just felt a little fishy. When Harry Met Sally, and then I'm on a Bad Boys trip right now. I watched Bad Boys 1 and 2. I still got 3 and 4 to go, and then I checked out Song Sung Blue. Kate Hudson was nominated, so I got to go check it out and see what it was like. So that's available on Peacock. So I tried to watch a lot, man. It wasn't a bad week. So yeah.
Nice. I've heard Song Sung Blue is actually pretty good.
If I had to recommend anything, I own it, but again, rewatch was pretty good. Materialist, HBO Max, Song Sung Blue, Peacock. The Alabama Solution, HBO Max, Predator Badlands, Hulu, if you guys want to give your thought. Code 3, Hulu, and Springsteen, all on Hulu, man. All these movies are available to stream. Go check it out.
Nice.
So, and always your top 5, your recent watches are always brought to you by San Marcos Mexican Restaurants, located right here at 2301 Southwest 59th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Give them a call at 405-685-7773 for a to-go order, or check them out in person and experience dine-in at San Marcos Mexican Restaurants on Southwest 59th Street in Oklahoma City. Let them know that the Cine-Men Movie Podcast sent you get 10% off your entire order. Great food and even better customer service. It's the only dine-in restaurant of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Zach, let's get into a top 5. It is the first of many top 5s that we're getting into in the next several weeks. This is our top 5 worst movies of 2025. All right, we are talking our top 5 worst movies of 2025. Actually, Zach, due to your credit, we are talking our top 6 through 2 worst movies of 2025. Our absolute worst movie of the year will be announced in just 3 short weeks at our favorites best of 2025 episode on that award show. Our all-time worst of that year will be revealed in just a few weeks, March the 10th, for our 2025 episode. So, Zach, do you have any honorable mentions, or do you just want to get into it?
Yeah, I got one honorable mention. Love Hurts, the Ke Huy Quan movie that came out early last year with Ariana DeBose. I think it had a good concept, but it was trying way too hard to be like John Wick or a John Wick movie. So, it is what it is. So, do you have any honorable mentions? Oh, and another one, I would say Snow White. I wouldn't say it's the worst of the year, but the biggest sin of it is that it doesn't need to exist. No one was asking for a Snow White remake in 2025. So, what about
you? I have 2 honorable mentions are going to be Steamboat and I Know What You Did Last Summer. It hurts me to say.
Yeah, I was so excited about that.
I was. Let's start off with number 6. Zach, what's your number 6?
Number 6. This one might get a little controversial.
Dude, I'm in the mood to fight.
Number 6 is an A24 movie. So that's like strike number 1.
Dude.
I will say A24, actually, I thought A24 had a really good year last year. A couple may or may not be on my top 10 for the year. But the one that didn't, and I was kind of bummed that it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, was Death of a Unicorn with Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd. Not great. I think it did have a good concept, but I just think by the end of the movie, it is kind of like how you thought about Predator Badlands. It just kind of willed away, and it's just like, what was the point of it? The whole idea of like the unicorn is like this mythical creature, and it like gives you the ability to like see into like the reaches of space. I thought that was kind of a cool concept, but the douchey Will Poulter and the Toni Collette stuff, it really killed the movie. So I walked out and I was disappointed by it. And as the year went on, it kind of got worse for me. So that's my technically number 6. What about you?
Number 6 for me, I don't know how I finished the hour and 20-minute film, but number 6 for me is Popeye's Revenge. I got addicted to these fairy tale creatures that are developing horror movies with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1 and 2. I thought those were excellent. So you know what? I'm like, okay, let me see what Steamboat's about. Let me see what Popeye's about. And I was just like overall like completely disgusted with Popeye's Revenge. I wanted something. I wanted some fun with these B-rated horror movies. That's all you want whenever you watch one of these things.
Yeah.
But it felt like it was just done a little lazy, and the concept was like, oh, let's try to make money like they did with Blood and Honey. So that's my number 6 is Popeye's Revenge.
Well,
And Zach, let's first take the hat off. You got to give me credit because I'm watching some movies that you won't even dare to watch the trailer. Let's be honest.
No, you're right. You couldn't even pay me $1,000 to watch that. No. And like this whole, I feel like this was like been a trend since the
Winnie the Pooh movies.
Yeah, let's take film characters that are what's the term for it where everyone can have access to it?
Oh, domain.
Yeah, public. These characters are in public domain, and let's make these really bad horror films. Winnie the Pooh, Popeye, Mickey Mouse. There was a Grinch one, wasn't there?
Yeah, that one wasn't bad.
The mean one or whatever it is.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Why are we doing this? It's terrible. So
that's my number 6 though. What's your number 5?
Number 5 is a film I was really excited about, given the director who did The Invisible Man. But number 5 technically is Wolfman with Julia Gardner. I was really excited about it. I thought what he was able to do with The Invisible Man, take just the name and do like a domestic violent relationship story with it, I thought was brilliant. And I thought what he could do with the Wolfman was really cool. But as someone said at my job, it really should have been called Alopecia Man, because it was not a good movie. It didn't have any good scares. It was just dull. Like there's nothing fun about it at all. And by the time I got to the theater, I was just like, thank God that's over. And I never have to think about that again until this episode.
Yeah.
So
we almost did that last year.
Yeah. And I probably, if I had done it, that probably would have been higher up on the list. Now, if I had to think critically about it. So number 5 is Wolfman.
Number 5 for me is I just got done watching it a few last week, and you know what? I looked at the cast and I was like, you know, this is going to be a good freaking movie. I'm excited, but I just kind of walked out and was not thrilled at all. And I was kind of like twiddling my thumbs like 40 minutes into the movie. That's Ella McKay. Have you get to see?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So I saw it in the theater, and it's not a great movie, but I didn't think it was as bad as people are making it out to be.
It's pretty dull, man. It's pretty like, sauce plate, nothing to do, dry humor. I was like, Camille Nanjiani's in this. Jamie Lee Curtis. I was super, super excited. But yeah, dude, it was just like I don't mean to say this and offend any Brit folks, but it felt like a British romance comedy. It was just super, super dry.
Yeah.
So I did not enjoy it. I was a little disappointed after looking at the cast. So number 5 for me is Ella McKay. What about number 4 for you?
My number 4. Okay. My number 4 or 3 on this list, technically.
And let's remind the viewers, the listeners, the higher we get, the worse the movie is.
Yes. And
in our opinion.
The number 1 movie we're going to talk about tonight is technically our number 2. The worst of the worst, we'll talk about on the 2025 review episode. So just a little context for you there. Yeah. So my number 3 for this episode is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Just stop. We need to stop this. I understand the first one made a lot of money. The second one is even worse, if you can believe it. I'm going to spoil it because I don't even care. It like one of the robots has like a android type thing where it can like infect people and make them evil or whatever. It's so stupid. No, go check it out. I implore you.
I didn't enjoy the first one. I think I ranted on it last year or 2 years ago when it came out. But I mean, yeah. Number 4 for me is going to be Hard Eyes. Came out earlier last year. Mason Gooding It's the the trope of them trying to just see what hits and sticks with the new slasher genre. They're trying to they're trying to just make money off some of these characters or some of these actors and actresses that are in like big time slasher movies. But like, man, I had a hard time with it. It's something I did not pay for. I waited till it hit Netflix, and it was an hour and 20 something minutes, and it felt like it was 2 hours long. When it was over, I was like, I have no desire to rewatch this.
I will say that I almost went and saw that in the theater for free, and I was like, no, I can't. I'll just wait for it to stream.
It's horrible. What about you, Zach? What's your number 4? Or your number 3?
My number 3. This is gonna piss some people off, but I gotta be honest. A Minecraft movie. I don't get the hype of it.
What?
I don't get it. But maybe because I don't play the game. Maybe that's it. I mean, I did think that the only saving grace part of it was Jack Black doing Jack Black things. That's fun to watch.
That's a T-shirt, man.
Yeah. Jason Momoa, doing Jason Momoa things, but it just I don't get it. Like I said, I don't play the game. I'm not in that age range or whatever, but it's terrible.
I don't play the game either, but man, you're just pouring out the hate juice.
Well, wait till you see what my number 2 and number 1 are.
On some lava chicken.
Oh,
man.
By the way, I was the only one in that theater when I went and saw it, so I didn't get to experience the chicken jockey thing. So
chicken jockey, man, it's such a fun film. Damn you, Zach. No, I'm sorry, I'm just messing with you. Number 3 for me is going to be Tron Ares.
Okay.
Looks beautiful, sounds amazing. The special effects is what you want. The soundtrack is not as good as Tron.
The one with Olivia Wilde.
Yeah.
The Tron. Keep going. I'll look it up.
It's not as good as that one.
Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy, and Daft Punk. But the soundtrack, the score is still really good. I really wanted to like this so bad. They brought Jeff Bridges back. I wasn't that big of a fan of Jared Leto being the saving grace and the big main star in the film. Really wanted to like this movie, but it just fell so flat. I think this is the movie that my number 2 is going to probably surprise everybody. But my number 3 at Tron Ares, I was so hyped for this movie. I wanted to go see it in the theaters. I wanted to go see it in IMAX, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of glad now. Maybe I don't know. I wonder if I saw it in IMAX, if I would have liked it a little bit more. And the rewatch, I've been like, oh yeah, fun, yay! My first time watching it was at home. Did not like it.
I saw it in the 4DX where the seats move, so that probably hindered my viewing of it. It was like, okay, this is real fun, especially on the motorbikes and everything.
Yeah.
So I rewatched. I actually watched all the Tron movies before seeing the new one. That original one is
it's tough.
It's of its time essentially, right. But Legacy is actually pretty good. I hadn't seen it in a while.
Really good. I love the story. I love the stories. Yeah.
And then Ares is. I honestly don't know what they were trying to do with it, to be honest.
Yeah. Zach, what's your number 2?
Oh, dude. It's my fault. I had to waste an hour and, well, actually, I think 2 hours of my life doing this that I will never get back. But I did see it for free, and I still asked for my money back. Number 2, or number 1 on this episode, but my number 2 worst of the year is Megan 2.0. I hated that first one. I was like, maybe they could learn from their mistakes and beef it up a little bit. They put this thing on steroids, and the whole thing of now she can go up into the city and she's Superwoman fighting another AI bad guy. I fell asleep in the theater, and I don't really do that. So what does that tell you? It was bad, and we need to. And I honestly, dude, I don't think it made as much money as they thought it was going to be.
The second one.
And yeah, and it may have canceled the third film, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
So what is your number 2 worst of the year?
Dude, my number 2 worst of the year. It was between this one and another one.
It better not be Sinners.
The other one ran out, and it is now going to be on the March 10th episode. But dude, number 2 for me is Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh,
You
were so excited about it too.
This was a movie that I was just super thrilled about. I didn't have to go out and waste time in a theater. It was on Netflix. The Sandman, his first ever sequel to one of his original movies. And dude, I just did not like it at all. It did not need to be almost 2 hours long. It was complete. It was complete cheesy Sandler, yes, but I felt like it was cheesy Sandler times 10, and it didn't need to be that.
Well, it was like a glorified cameo film, essentially.
Yeah. So, and don't get me wrong, I know his peers were in it. He did what he could. I know he looked up to Mel Brooks, and this whole movie has Mel Brooks written all over it, but still, it just did not sit well with me. And unfortunately, it's my number 2 worst movie of the year. So, yeah, those are our top 6 through 2 worst movies of the year. Again, our ultimate worst of the worst of the worst is going to be announced March 10th when we talk our favorites, best of 2025 episode, available in just 3 weeks. But Zach, today we are talking When Harry Met Sally. This was kind of your idea. We didn't know what to do for Valentine's Day week. Rob Reiner had tragically passed, and you have never seen this movie. So we are talking When Harry Met Sally today. Currently, IMDb has it at a 7.7, a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, 76% on the Metascore, a 4.1 in the Letterboxd, with a July 21st, 1989 release date. With a $16 million budget, it grossed a little over $193 million at the box office, nominated for 1 Oscar. Harry and Sally have known each other for years and are very, very good friends, but they fear sex would ruin the friendship. Starring Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan, Carrie Fisher, Bruno Kirby, Stephen Ford, directed by Rob Reiner. Zach, this was kind of your idea thing. You had never seen it. As soon as the movie was over, what was your thought?
Yeah, so as soon as the movie was over, dude, I'm gonna this is my very first watch of it. I'd never seen it before, like, we mentioned. I'd heard all the, this is one of the best rom-coms ever. It's definitely has its place in film history, I guess you would say. And honestly, I loved it. It's such a fun movie. It has, we'll get into it more detailed, but I generally had a good time with this. What about you?
I've seen this numerous times. I think the last time I'd seen this, honestly, was like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even longer. I watched it actually twice in 2 weeks this time around, and because I didn't really remember it all. And you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed both viewings. The first time I probably enjoyed a lot better than the second time, but I still, I was going to talk to you. I don't know about necessarily. I know it's a classic and it's considered an all-time great amongst the rom-com genre. But I wanted to start the podcast off with this. How do we feel about romance comedies now?
I feel like romance comedies, I feel like they've been lost in translation in the last couple years. I feel like we don't get as many of them. I feel like the last one that I truly remember that was actually pretty good was No Hard Feelings, even that was kind of like a raunchy comedy. But before, I honestly don't remember like a signature. This is up here with When Harry Met Sally type rom-com. What about you?
I wanted to see the one with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, Anyone But You.
But I never watched that. I think, and this leads into my next question. So many rom-coms now are in theaters for 2 weeks and they go straight to streaming.
Yeah.
You're lucky if they even get 2 weeks in the theater. But I don't know where they fit now. I almost going into my next question. I'm almost is the rom-com genre dead? To me, it's on its like last leg, and I like you said, I don't remember one that like nearly broke the box office lately. And it's if anything, rom-coms are just I feel like they're on their way out. If anybody wants romance nowadays, it's like, oh, let's do romance thriller,
Oh,
something like The Housemaid.
I, I don't know if you would consider this a rom-com, but yeah, it's labeled as romance comedy. I mean, Materialists from last year. I think that's as close to a rom-com that we have gotten. But I think, I just recently watched it and I think it's more of a romance dramedy or drama than anything else.
It is pretty funny, but I mean, yeah, you could label that one, but again, nobody went to go see it.
Yeah, no. The last big one is the one that you already mentioned, but that was Anyone But You with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. But that was almost 3 years ago, 2023. So
Yeah.
I mean, and another good one was Crazy Stupid Love, but that was like back in 2011.
Yeah. So the movie is very, very simple. That's what I love about it. It's a ride to Chicago to New York between two friends, and then they meet every 5 years for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Even
yeah.
even though it's not technically, I think I think the Before trilogy is a little bit more mature when it comes to relationships. Like,
Oh, of course.
what does it mean to be in a relationship? But I liked the time jumps. That's what it reminded me of, that trilogy.
And I think this movie does it right. It doesn't push it to be 2 hours. You get your entire story in an hour and 25 minutes. You get fun laughs. You get the only negative for me. I had too many. I just had his name. I got too many Woody Allen vibes from Billy Crystal in this movie.
Yes.
Now Billy Crystal, he knocked it out of the park for me. He did it to a T. He was funny. He wasn't like too raunchy. He wasn't nasty or dirty or or filthy. But when he was in that mode of speaking fast, and I really got some Woody Allen vibes from this movie, and that kind of turned me off because I just kind of despise Woody Allen now.
Yeah, no, you hit that right on the nail with that. I think you could go back, even though I don't particularly like this movie. I think Annie Hall was very much an influence on this movie. If you kind of like compare the two films,
Yeah.
I think this one, I prefer this one way over Annie Hall any time of the day, and I think it has a way better ending than that movie. But I totally agree with you. The Harry Billy Crystal character, very much encompassed Woody Allen vibes. I totally agree with you on that.
Do you think before you saw this movie, did you just think this is that one scene kind of film where there's only one famous scene, and other than that, like you're like, oh, I don't need to watch it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like when I see movies like this that are like known for like one thing, I'm very curious. Like what's okay? Like everyone knows the cafe orgasm scene. Like what's the rest of the movie? I was curious about it, and I think the performances, and not only of Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, but also of Carrie Fisher and Bruno Kirby. Those were actually really good side B characters that I had a lot of fun with in this film. But at the end of the day, I think if you did not have the chemistry of Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, I think this movie would still be good because of Rob Reiner's direction and Nora Ephron's screenplay. But I think you wouldn't be so invested because you don't have that chemistry between those two actors, in my opinion.
I don't know when we're going to talk about him again. Maybe in a few weeks when we talk about our best of, because he's been an Oscar presenter and an Oscar host. What do you think of Billy Crystal? What is his what is his label in your filmography of being a film fan?
Mike Wazowski. I mean, I mean, truthfully, I mean, like we grew up, we were about the same age. You probably grew up with Monsters Inc. as well. So I mean that, there's a great story that he was offered the role of Woody, and I think he either didn't like the animation of the film or he just didn't like the script. But Toy Story became such a huge phenomenon that he demanded to be in Pixar's next movie, which was A Bug's Life or whatever. But it was Toy Story, Bug's Life, and Toy Story 2, and then Monsters Inc. was the next original premise, and he demanded to be one of the main characters. So, but I mean, Billy Crystal, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I just haven't seen a lot of his movies. I mean, Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, I know him more as a stand-up with Robin Williams and Whoopi Goldberg. Let me look up his filmography real quick. What as I'm doing that, what do you think about him?
So I was exposed to Billy Crystal a lot as a kid for some reason. And one of the movies that I can really remember is My Giant. He's friends with this Italian giant, I believe, and it was like a very sincere, lovable kind of movie. He was brought to my attention with Harry Met Sally, City Slickers 1 and 2, Throw Mama from a Train with him and Danny DeVito. I thought was absolute funny. I still have it. I haven't rewatched it in years, but I have it on Blu-ray that hopefully I can rewatch it soon. Billy Crystal, and then of course Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
And he just has that voice. And to me, he was always like that guy who he was weird to me. And I'm like, he kind of looks like a weird version of Michael Keaton when I was a kid. And then I was just like, I didn't get why he was so funny, like why a lot of people liked him. My parents were always trying to watch, comedy movies with him. They loved City Slickers 1 and 2, like I said. But yeah, those are the films that I grew up on with Billy Crystal.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you look at his filmography, I mean, if you Google Billy Crystal, his top 3 movies are When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride, which he's more of like a glorified cameo in that movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then Monsters Inc. Those are his top 3. He did a movie a couple years ago. I don't know if you saw it, called Here Today, with him and Tiffany Haddish. He was playing like a comedian who's getting Alzheimer's or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that one was actually, he directed. I thought that one was way better than what people are saying. He did more of a dramatic turn instead of comedy.
But yeah, that's where I kind of got brought up with Billy Crystal. Same thing with Rob Reiner. Let's talk about that tragic, incident earlier in the year. We had already planned to do this episode anyway, and then that tragedy kind of happened. So when you think of Rob Reiner, though, what movie first pops into your head?
Honestly, man, I think the first one that comes to my head is not so much his direction, but more of his acting in All in the Family. That's like, his first original thing. And then direction wise, probably A Few Good Men, which I don't think we've talked about, which I think that'd be a fun conversation. It's so good. And then I think we're going to talk about Stand By Me in April or May, one of those. So, which I've never seen. That'll be a first time watch.
Really?
Yep. And then, his little cameo that he does in Wolf of Wall Street as Leo's dad, I thought was a great, funny bit.
Yeah. If I had to guess, or if I not guess, but if I had to, also the physical media copy of When Harry Met Sally is loaded with special features. There's even a documentary with Rob Reiner about how the making of Harry Met Sally went. So
nice.
But yeah, I was gonna say A Few Good Men.
Yeah, and have you ever seen? I'm sure you have. You probably own it. Misery.
Yeah, Misery's a great film.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen that either. So there's there's like a lot of his like directorial stuff that I've never seen. I like the bucket list. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen that before.
Yeah. Speaking of James Caan, his on-screen brother, partner in The Godfather, Robert Duvall, passed away this week as well. Also, R.I.P. to Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away today.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I've been talking about it at work. This is going to be a repeat of 2016. You remember how we had like celebrities die left and right every other week? Yeah. I guarantee you it's going to be a repeat of that.
So Robert Duvall, just, he was 95. I'm sure people were like, but still, man, terrible loss for Hollywood and just for film fans in general. So much film history with Robert Duvall going all the way back to
Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird, yeah, which of course is an episode this year.
Which, by the way, we'll go ahead and say we are doing Godfather Part 3 in March, and we'll do our top 5 Robert Duvall films on that episode.
Which he's not in that movie, but still.
In Part 3? He's not in Part 3?
He's not in 3.
Really? I do not remember that at all.
Yeah. So I could have saved it. We could have done it for like The Judge or To Kill a Mockingbird, but we'll do it for Godfather Part 3.
Yeah, the Judge would be a fun conversation. That I think that is a really underrated film.
Yeah. So let's get back to When Harry Met Sally. I loved the scene where they met for the final time in the library, and Carrie Fisher's like, "There's a strange man looking at you."
In self-improvement section.
Yeah, and Meg Ryan's like, Sally's like, "Oh, you'd like him. He's married."
Yeah.
Dude,
her little Rolodex of like all the men that she has, and then she brings up one of the guys. It's like, but he's married, and then she doesn't take the card out. She just like bends the edge of the card, like, oh no, maybe he'll get out of that marriage eventually. I thought that was like a great bit.
And you know what? I don't think there was any wasted scenes in this movie. Mm-mm. What did you think of the scenes where the intertwining couples tell you how they met and got married?
I really like that. I like the testimonies of the old couples. I really like that. Not only do they have like, those are all testimonial, real testimonies those are actors that they hired, but those are real testimonies from Rob Reiner's, like people that he personally knows, how people met. I think I enjoyed listening to him, but it was also like a great setup for where Harry and Sally was in that moment of life, if you kind of think about it. Because I think the first couple they met and they didn't like each other, which is like a prelude to how during the car ride to New York, Harry and Sally don't like each other. And I like the which you probably thought of, like, I was acting like that. The Casablanca conversation of like, should have Ingrid with Humphrey Bogart or the other guy.
Yeah, Rob Reiner said that was a real thing, that him and Billy Crystal would hang out on the phone and discuss, just dialogue and just discuss movies. And then Rob Reiner would be like, "Oh, just snap on Channel 9 there's Casablanca, check it out," and they'd sit there and just commentary, Casablanca, hang out, and just conversate about film. And I that's what I like when you get like special features on, whether it's, this is going to be funny, the movies I pull out, but don't judge me. But when you get movies, whether it's like F1 or When Harry Met Sally or even Imaginary, the thing I like about owning stuff like this is just like the little details that you get, man. Mm-hmm. And like even with something When Harry Met Sally, like it's a movie that's 36 years old. And like when we're still bringing it up and learning more stuff about it and discussing it, and we're talking here about a 36-year-old movie, and I think it's maybe streaming on HBO Max, or it was a few weeks ago. And you're just like, man, where has all this time gone? Is this considered a classic still? Is this considered, what is When Harry Met Sally? And this brought me, I wanted to bring this question up to you again. Can one or two scenes completely just make a movie a classic? If you take out two scenes of this movie, let's say you take out the diner orgasm scene and the very ending New Year's Eve scene. If those scenes don't click or make you hit the feels, are we still talking about this being a classic 36 years later? Or does this get lost and swept under the rug with other stuff?
No, I don't. I personally don't think this gets swept under the rug. I think that those scenes, the orgasm scene in the New Year's party where he confesses his love to her, those are great scenes. But I think the dynamic between Harry and Sally, the performances, the chemistry, and also this film has a great ratio of the male and female aspect of relationships. I think that's what makes the movie. And then just the orgasm scene and then the finale, the ending scene adds to it, honestly. So, I mean, that's just how I think about it, because like I knew the orgasm scene was coming up. I just didn't know where it was in the movie. But when it finally hit, I was just like, oh, okay, that's the scene everyone knows from this movie. And then I wanted to see what happens next. So it didn't deter me from saying, like, when that scene was over, like, the movie went down a hill after that.
Right. We always talk about the second final scene of the movie, but I gotta say that first New Year's Eve scene the year before, where they're like dancing cheek to cheek, and then they share that New Year's Eve kiss, and then shortly after is where they first had sex later, and their relationship kind of took a little zigzag. Like that first New Year's Eve scene is really good as well.
Yeah, I think it's even better than the last one.
Watch your mouth, okay?
No. Let me explain.
I'm just teasing you.
I think
it is really good.
The ending New Year's party scene cements the relationship that they're willing to go, regardless if they've had sex, to pursue this. I think the first New Year's party scene, that in that moment they both knew that they loved each other, but they didn't want to acknowledge it.
See, this is where I wish we kind of had a female on the episode. If you guys want to apply for a job, or if you guys want to apply to be a guest host, again, just hit us up on the social medias. We would love to have your resume sent in, and you can hang out with us and talk movies. But Zach, again, I don't want to bring this question up. There's not another female on here to kind of defend. But like, do you agree with Billy Crystal? Like, do you really think a man and a girl can be best friends without even thinking about sex? I personally don't think so.
I don't think so either. Like I said, we don't have a female here to defend Meg Ryan's point of view. I just think maybe because it's just a male's biology, the way we think about things, it's just like it tarnishes. Like if you're friends with a female and something happens and you do.
My bad. I meant, yes, it can be done. I thought I was on two different subjects right now.
Oh, so you're on Meg Ryan's point of view.
Yeah, I think it can be done.
Okay. I feel like if you've known the person for a very long time and it happens like it does in this movie, it can go either or. Like you can salvage the relationship and everything can be okay, or it just ruins it. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, you could be, say you're best friends with somebody, and you know, at first you guys are just really cool, but then you're like, you know what, let me try the next step. And let's say 90% of the time it's probably the guy who's like, let me try the next step.
Yeah.
And she's just like, dude, you were just like a brother to me. That's all.
And it ruins it.
It ruins it. So yeah, I get you.
So
I think the New Year's Eve scene to me is phenomenal. I like how Billy Crystal, he doesn't even think about what's coming out of his mouth next. You know, I like how you get cold when it's 71 degrees outside. You get the crinkle in your nose. I love, you know, he loves everything. And it's that final line where I'm not mad, or, you know, when you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start right now or as soon as
Yes.
possible.
And I
And
think,
I think that's a really good answer. That's a really good question, and that's a really good statement. And the writing was phenomenal.
and I wanted to ask you, because inside baseball, you're about to get married. When you met your fiance now, did you have that feeling? Or when you finally get to know her?
Yeah, you don't you think about that kind of stuff, and you're just like, is it
Is that a
guaranteed?
movie thing, or is that is that a real life feeling?
It's a real life feeling. I truly believe, because like, if you're going to lay it out on the table, and if you're going to date, we didn't even discuss the ending relationship with Sally and her boyfriend, and then with Harry and his ex-wife, because Harry was married.
Yes.
And that football scene where him and
they're doing the wave, and it's like a very serious conversation.
Yeah. Well, I do have to admit, I loved that about this movie, how no matter what Harry and what's his name, his friend,
Jess.
No matter what Jess and Harry are doing, whether it's baseball, like they're making shots, or whether it's running or watching a football game, their camaraderie and their conversation never gets dull to me. The writing between the two, between Rob Reiner and the writer who wrote the screenplay, is just phenomenal, because you're wanting to pay attention to the activity they're doing, but the dialogue is so good and it's being delivered so good that you're concentrated on what they're saying. So the conversation pieces between Jess and Harry are phenomenal to me. But yeah, you find out that Harry was actually divorced, and they were together for 10 years. And I had to relate a lot to this movie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and that conversation at the baseball or the football stadium, that was based off a real conversation that Rob Reiner had with one of his buddies. It was so. What is so fascinating about it was that Billy Crystal's character is basically the personification of Rob Reiner during that time of his life, where I think he had just got through a breakup or a divorce or something. He never thought he would meet anyone that was significant to him again. And so it almost got to the point where Nora Ephron almost directed the film, and Rob Reiner was going to be Harry, almost at one point.
Yeah.
Which do you think that would have changed the dynamic of the film, or do you think it would still be the classic it is today?
I think it would have changed a little bit of the dynamic, but I also heard that Tom Hanks was offered the role first, and he turned it down. And then I think Rob Reiner was kind of playing with the idea that maybe he'll step in and do it. But at the end of the day, I know in the documentary he was like, it was always going to be Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
But I think it would have changed a little bit of the dynamic.
Yeah.
And a little bit of the delivery. No offense to Rob Reiner, but I don't think, again, I can't do it. Zach can't do it, but I think Billy Crystal's just a little bit of a notch above what Rob Reiner could have done in the movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So let's talk favorite scene. I'll go first. I obviously mentioned my favorite scene was the final New Year's Eve scene, and the scenes between Jess and Harry when they were hanging out and the dialogue was going on. Zach?
I mean, I think you got to mention the cafe orgasm scene, which is, everyone either references that, or it's definitely like a montage of, anytime you put like a montage of rom-com movies together, that's in there. The Casablanca conversation where they're like, it's the split screen where they're watching the movie, and they're actually in the friends section of their relationship, and they just like, hey, hope your date goes well. I don't know if I want to date again. And it's literally the end of the movie where Rick has to give up making sure Ilsa's safe, literally giving up his love to save her life. I thought that was kind of juxtaposed to that. And then a great scene was after they sleep together, it's the 4-way call between all four of the different characters.
Yeah.
Where like Sally calls Marie and Harry calls Jess, and it's like, "What'd you do? We slept together." They literally say it in sync, and then they get off the phone with each other, and Marie turns to Jess and says, "Don't make me do that ever again, please." This movie is like, like you said, it's probably 35 years old, 30, maybe 36. It's still relevant if you really kind of think about like just the dynamic between the two characters and just like the way dating is now. It's kind of shocking.
Yeah. Star rating. I'm gonna go 3.5. I
3.5.
really liked it. You know me, I'm a little tough on my ratings, but I was sitting there flirting with a 4. But then, rewatchability still always comes into it with me, man. And I'm just like, it's good, but it's not great. I'm not going to always flick that movie whenever it comes to romance comedy. I think there's some others I would probably choose, even though the length is perfect for me. I really like the length. I just think When Harry Met Sally is going to sit with me at a nice 3.5, which is still not a bad grade.
No.
So yeah, I'm going to sit with a 3.5 with When Harry Met Sally. What about you?
I'm gonna go 4, man. I kind of flirted with the idea of giving it a 5 because I just thoroughly enjoyed it for us as a first time watch. But like you said, rewatchability is a factor with us on the show. If I rewatch it again next year, then maybe. But yeah, I'm settled with the 4. I think performances, screenplay, direction, really, this is what really sells the movie for me. And yeah, it's a classic. Is it on the IMDb top 250?
Nope. I thought it would be, but it's not.
One more thing before we talk about next week's episode. I think the way rom-coms are, in the 1930s and 40s, we had screwball comedies with like Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant and Jimmy Stewart and all them. That's like a different version of it. But I think when we get to Annie Hall and When Harry Met Sally, I think it brought in a new era of rom-coms that, Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, which I've actually never seen those two. So I need to put them on my list. But the problem is, I don't think they didn't do the ratio recipe right. And it just became like stereotypical tropes of male and female, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Like you've seen them one, you've seen them all.
Yeah. Like when we talked about I Love You, Beth Cooper, the nerd and the cheerleader, that just becomes like a stereotypical trope. So,
or While You Were Sleeping, Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. But next week, though,
this movie is on the IMDb top 250. Next week, it's our final episode of February. Next week, we're talking Orson Welles, Citizen Kane. Next week, man, I feel like this could be homework sitting through watching this movie. I'm not sure. It's from 1941.
You got this beautiful Criterion.
Yeah, I have the Criterion. I also have the regular Warner Brothers Blu-ray. So I am kind of, I'm going to see how it holds up. I'm not quite so sure. I'm not really excited for the watch, if that makes sense. But I really hope this kind of switches me up. The last time I watched it, I was kind of like, why is this considered a great? Why is this on the 250 list? But we're going to talk about it next week. We're also going to give it a star rating. We're going to talk about favorite scenes. And we're going to discuss, does it deserve to be on IMDb's top 250? We're going to reveal what number it is and agree to disagree with that. We're also talking our top 5 documentaries next week of 2025. All that and more in another new episode. Zach, before we head on to Citizen Kane, is there anything else you want to head into discussion about When Harry Met Sally, or is that the nail in the coffin?
I think that's the nail in the coffin. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's streaming on Hulu, so go Hulu it up. I'm really excited about next week. I kind of agree with you. It's 2 hours. I'm just like, last time I watched it, I wasn't a big fan of Citizen Kane. But we're going to discuss, is this truly the best American film ever made? So that will be next week.
Next week, don't forget, huge episode, top 5 2025 documentaries. Citizen Kane, is it worth it or is it not? Of its IMDb ranking. You'll hear our thoughts and more on another new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast next week. Have a good week, guys. Thank you.
Bye.